All right, so I've got some common questions that I've been getting about front squatting and holding a proper rack position with a clean grip. You know, a lot of people have the lack of mobility or flexibility to be able to properly hold a barbell with their elbows facing up in a clean grip, either in the rack position itself or actually going through the squat itself, where they run into problems where the elbows start to drop and then they complain about wrist stress, elbow stress, shoulder stress, and so on. And they're wondering why their elbows can't stay up even if they start in a good position and it starts to lower as they go through the lift. So I'm going to go through a couple of things. First of all, the actual rack position and the clean grip. It's important to learn a clean grip versus the classic California style that a lot of people revert to. A lot of people who have big arms, or bodybuilders, or people who have a lot of tightness or thick arms, they're going to revert to this style just because of the fact that they can't, their arms are too big and it starts blocking them, right? And in ways that could be an inhibiting factor, but there are certain things that you can do to sort of counter that. Even me particularly, I don't have the smallest arms out there, but I can still maintain a pretty good clean grip based on the tricks that I'm about to show you here. So first, I'll look at what the clean grip should look like. So I have a bar here that I'm going to set up for my front squat the way that I normally do. You want your elbows to face as high up as possible. For the entire range of motion of the lift, you're going to want your elbows to face the ceiling and never really move from that position as you go through the movement, right? So it looks something like that. Now, you might have noticed a couple of things there. Elbows were up, but first thing, just looking at the hand position. Of course, if you keep a full closed hand around the bar the entire time, then it's going to be really difficult for you to still keep that wrist flexed in a certain position and have your elbows up at the same time. And then it's going to start dropping. So what I like to do is I like to take out my fifth finger and take out my thumb from underneath the bar, so I'm only holding on with these three fingers. Once again, it'll look like this, right? These fingers are completely free, and it's easier for you to lever it up and leave the bar resting where it belongs in this groove right here, just sitting down close to your throat, okay? So that's the position you want to think about maintaining, okay? So if people are using a full closed hand, first step, try to take out a finger or two. That's good for a front squat. Of course, it's not something you want to practice when you're doing cleans because you don't want to lower the bar with three fingers on it, okay? So the next thing is a flexibility issue or a mobility issue, whether it has to do with mobility at the shoulder and a lack of range of motion there, or flexibility of the triceps and lats, okay? So, one quick stretch. That's pretty cool to start out with. You grab a basic dowel or a broomstick or something like that. You just send it over this way. You'll see people use this method where they just lever the arm upwards like this. It'll help them stretch their triceps and their lats. You can pull up this way or you can pull back that way in order for you to get the elbow to face the ceiling as high as possible. And that'll help to train the elbow to stay up as well. Third thing, some people like to go under the bar but push their head through as well. So the bar's on their back, and focus on that force, just driving the elbows through that way. Those are pretty quick, short, easy ways, and they can help make the actual rack position of the squat good and sound. Now, when it comes to the squat where you start seeing people start to drop as they go through the movement, so they start out in a good position like this, and then they start falling this way. Now it's a good idea to actually look at what your back anatomy is doing. So, upper arm, your humerus actually attaches into the glenoid fossa of your scapula. So it's got to be the upper back that we look at, because the scapula are obviously coming over and dropping your rib cage in order for your elbows to start falling as well. Your thoracic region is the key player that we want to maintain extension through when we go through a front squat. Once we lose extension of the thoracic region, the rib cage will start to drop and the elbows will start to drop. It doesn't matter how good your flexibility is. If you don't have that ability or the capability to extend your thoracic region, it's not going to happen. It's not going to stay. So, foam roller. It's not even really a drill that involves your muscle tissue as much as it involves just training your spine to go through an extension. So, I grab a seat on my foam roller. I keep it right underneath the scapula, just below the scaps, not quite on top of the scap, but just underneath the scaps around here. keep my hips down, keep my back neutral, and try to only extend through the thoracic region. Sometimes I like to interlace my hands behind the head and just aim for the ground through a nice smooth extension for a couple of reps, maybe sets of 6 to 8 between your sets, and it's going to help keep that spine nice and straight so that when you do your front squat, you don't see any changes that happen as you go down. You stay tall. And that's going to affect, in a very positive way, what your elbows do during a front squat. So, step number 1, look at 3 fingers underneath the bar instead of all 5. Step number 2, those mobility drills and those stretches with the dowel and with the barbell. And the third step, take a look at your thoracic extension capability with the foam roller and try to keep that rib cage up. Exercises for your lower traps can help as well to just help pop up the rib cage. And of course, in general, a nice strong upper back is going to do a lot of good when it comes to maintaining tension and tightness under the squat bar from the top of the lift all the way down to the bottom. So those are some things that can help the front squat with the rack position and through the movement, and that's it.